All right, welcome everybody. In today's tech chat, all about corporate serialization, track and trace, challenges in different industries. And to actually give you some insights on what are the challenges and how we can solve that, I got today two experts with me. The first one, our industry expert, Christoph Knack, and our global delivery lead for sustainability and track and trace, Ankit Singla. Chris, would you mind to give us a little bit more background on yourself?
Yeah, welcome from my side. Thanks, Christian. Yeah, my name is Christoph. I'm project manager and solution architect at Index, specialized in track and trace solutions. And yeah, today I'm excited to explore with you the fascinating world of returnable assets. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Ankit, would you mind give us a short introduction onto yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So welcome to all our listeners. My name is Ankit, and I'm a global delivery lead for sustainability and traceability solutions at Index. I'm specialized in managing and delivering our customers achieving real-time supply chain visibility by using sustainability and traceability best practices and solutions.
Thanks, Ankit. My name is Christian, and I'm a sales manager for key accounts and partners at Industries Excellence. And today I will be a little bit more of the moderator in this tech chat. So let's jump right into the topic. Could you please outline some challenges that we have primarily in managing returnable assets? Chris, this question I would like to redirect to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we talk about returnable assets, first of all, where does it actually matter? So what sort of industries are dealing with returnable assets? For example, we have in the logistic area, we have a lot of customers tracking pallets, containers, in beverages. We have use cases around kegs and crates tracking to recognize whether they're filled, whether they have been cleaned. So all sorts of use cases where also in chemicals, you have IBC totes, which are going to be exchanged with customers, which are returned, need to be cleaned, prepared, and sent out again. There are some scenarios in healthcare. Think of a reusable surgery equipment, which needs to be sterilized, need to be used in a surgery, returned. So all sorts of things where actually you are delivering something to your customer, an outer box, a service, a product which is sent to customer, used. You have sometimes even some rental fee associated to it. You incorporate that product, that asset again into your supply chain. You fill it, you clean it, you prepare it, and you send it out to the next customer. And when we talk about challenges, the scenarios I have just outlined, always be aware, those scenarios are your core business. So which means if you are delivering beverages, if you are delivering chemicals to your customer, it does matter to you that you always have enough containers at hand, always enough reusable surgery trays at hand to deliver your customer. So whenever we speak about demand planning, demand optimization, demand schedule, service controls, and security artifacts, it does matter to you. So that's one of the challenges that all sorts of basically industry or players in an industry have to actually track those assets, to know exactly what is where, to have some forecasting and planning to know when is something going to be returned. There's also some lead times, some preparation times. So they have to need to have a really clear view on basically the asset inventory, what they have at stock, what they have available in order to plan their replenishment. So basically having an accurate inventory management and material requirements planning at hand, it's absolutely key.
Thank you. Would you like to add something to this point?
Yep, for sure. So, yeah, I think Chris mentioned it very nicely about the key challenges and we face in the returnable assets. So, apart from the key challenges which we talk about, the safety and compliance and costs, which are the key concerns for the industry to manage the returnable assets, we talk about the challenges for not having a single source of truth for a system, right? To record all this data which is coming together from different source of systems, and the huge amount of data which is flowing between different systems. And you need a kind of system where you can manage your returnable assets to get your return on investments, and make sure that you have optimized your supply chain and efficiency, and real-time visibility. So really, there are these kind of primary challenges to make sure that your TCOs and ROIs around getting and managing your returnable assets are put down. Otherwise, it is just a huge challenge which the industry face in managing the returnable assets. Yep.
And you mentioned there a very great point regarding the visibility. Single source of truth was a word that I noted out of that. So how is this then? Is this something related also to the challenge of asset historical hierarchies? So how much of an impact, or how important would that actually be, especially in regards of visibility? How could this help?
Yeah, absolutely. I can elaborate on that. So in many systems, there is like a blurred line between event management and object management due to insufficient tracking and tracing capabilities, right? So this kind of lack of clarity complicates compliance and operational transparency, as systems struggle to accurately track and display the lifecycle and movement of data, historic data, as well as the real data for each asset, right? So these are the kind of challenges which you see when it relates to the historical hierarchies and managing the real time or the complete life cycle of the asset, right?
Awesome. Thank you very much for those insights. This immediately leads to the next question, actually. So all of these challenges, what is the impact on the integration side here, especially for the operational processes? Ankit, would you mind to speak a little bit about this as our technical expert here?
Yeah, sure. So these challenges actually hinder the seamless integration of end-to-end operational processes, which is essential for streamlined operations and ensuring data consistency across departments. Yeah. This integration is crucial for operational efficiencies and regulatory compliance, and making sure you get the returns on your investments, and how you can make sure that you keep your operational as well as your production costs low if you are not getting the visibility around your assets, right? So that's really the key challenge which we definitely see from an operational processes perspective.
Well, yeah. Thank you very much, Ankit. So Christoph, turning to the tracking methods that are at hand. So let's discuss a little bit the advantages and disadvantages from a manual to an automated system and how that could look like.
Yeah, so absolutely. When we speak about a lot of, let's say, a huge volume that needs to be tracked, when customers have multiple, sometimes even in the 7 digits, so really millions of assets that are being tracked, they need to have a proper, I would say, scanning or capturing methodology that they are following. Because at the end, manual tracking or manual capturing of information is quite labor intensive. And at the end, steps might not be captured, which at the end leads to a significant issue in the tracking accuracy. On the other hand, automated systems like those, for example, were utilizing RFID, GPS, geolocation, or geo-tracking, or the ones that are actually using barcodes with some automated camera detection, provide really, I would say, reliable information, close to 100%, and also in real time, because you can track every single movement anywhere. You can simply query the information, link it to a logistic operation. And at the end, this accuracy is really, really crucial to have an effective management, and basically at the end, a reduction in your operational costs. Because at the end, if we speak about capturing all those events along the life cycle, it's an effort that needs to be done, and we can be quite open. If you don't do it, of course, it would be faster. But at the end, what we see also from a technology side in the past years, how it's actually evolved, how the technical capabilities increase to capture such information. Today, everybody has a mobile phone where simply you swipe over with your camera and immediately you could detect like 10 barcodes at a time. If I think back 10 years ago, would have been impossible to actually do that with a mobile phone, to capture in real-time information, get it display on the screen. Amazing what's possible today.
Absolutely amazing, yes. And also what I want to highlight especially here is the avoidance of human error, right? Because having it more automated also eliminates the error of manual inserting a 8-digit number or 14-digit number here. And especially supportive is that automation system then, I think, for the data management, right? So let's elaborate a little bit on how important is actually the integration of the data system, of the tracking system data into an existing ERP system. Christoph, would you mind to continue here a little bit?
Yeah, it's extremely important because at the end, integrating tracking data into an ERP system, if I would need to summarize it, there are actually 3 areas where this might be important. First thing, inheritance of data. Second, planning. And third thing, analytics. And let me briefly elaborate a bit on those topics. When I speak about inheritance of data, it's really crucial. Imagine you have tons of containers you send out to your customer. Instead of scanning them each and every single time, you can actually elaborate. You scan them once during a picking process in your warehouse, you assign them to a delivery. And from that moment onwards, you can actually, if it's tightly integrated into your ERP landscape, you can actually stay on document level, like you are proceeding and doing operations today or how you have done them in the past, because you can say, now my delivery is out, I'm shipping it to my customer, now the trip of the driver is completed. I'm doing the wrap-up operations of that trip. With that, you don't need to scan at all your assets at the end. You basically just capture the information at a document level, which immediately gets inherited to all the objects, and you'll still be able, with a sub-second response time, to actually provide that information to whomever is actually looking for. At the end, if I look at the planning side, which was my second point, it's also quite crucial to actually update all your stocks in your ERP system, because at the end, if you are moving a cylinder or a shipping container that you are tracking or a surgery kit, at the end, it doesn't matter. If you ship your container and your asset from one location to another, even if you're just moving it from A to B, it might have an impact on your stocks, because the new storage location might be for blocked stock, might be a preparation area, might be a control area. So it's not sufficient anymore to simply capture the information. There is an impact to your ERP operation. So it always needs to be tightly linked and basically consolidated at the end, or reconciliated in case it's a little bit, I would say, separated. And third thing, analytics side, of course, with having a proper analytics at top, you can always identify bottleneck procedures. You can, analyze a lot of things around. Imagine you are actually capturing millions of data points anywhere within your supply chain. Think of that applying now also newest technologies like AI capabilities on top to do some pattern recognition. And with that, you can really optimize your inventory management and your logistics operation. So this actually, that integration enables companies to generate some sort of detailed reports, dashboards in real time by providing operational insights to, at the end, drive then decision-making operations.
And to me, as a non-so-technical person here, that sounds to me as well that we can get rid of a lot of different interfaces and systems, so we can gather everything basically at a certain centralized point, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So that would be I would say, the expected to be scenario where we want to end up, consolidate the data, making it available, integrated in your existing operations. Because what I experience a lot is that this sort of information is available at customers. The problem is just it's available there. Some information is available there. Here we talk about re-identification of those objects because they get relabeled. Nobody is scanning them when they're out at customer. You don't know what comes back. You have inaccuracies. You take assumptions, sometimes even in your procedures. So it's really, really important to get that consolidated view and streamline all of that operation, specifically when you want to actually leverage the tracking and get the best insights out of it in order at the end to be more reliable in terms of service or asset delivery to your customer.
Yeah, so actually there are quite a lot of challenges out there in the industry and in the markets for the returnable assets. So let's talk about how those challenges could be tackled. So Ankit, what do you think? What is the solution to tackle these problems?
Yeah, so when we meet our customers discussing these kind of challenges and the kind of requirements to make sure that there is a solution out there which is kind of providing them the complete product lifecycle traceability. It helps them to do their seamless integration with their ERP systems, manage customer and business partner records, help them in verifying their assets and kind of making sure that they can trace and they can retrieve the information and also at a stage that if it needs for regulatory compliance in different markets, you come across with such requirements. And to fulfill all this, working with SAP, let's say we have a great track record on delivering solutions for traceability, product lifecycle traceability, and serialization track and trace solutions. So we have been working with SAP for more than 2 decades now. So it started with solutions like event management and then followed by doing the automation projects to work with RFID tags, solutions like auto ID infrastructure and object event repository. Then when it comes to the life science pharmaceutical industry, they have been using the SAP Advanced Track and Trace for pharmaceutical solution for more than a decade now. And the latest version of all these solutions with a mature solution we come across is a solution called SAP Corporate Serialization. So when we come and talk about SAP Corporate Serialization, so it's your global repository to track uniquely identified products, components, and asset instance across the life cycle of the products and assets to manage all this data. Yeah.
So actually, we are speaking here about a robust and proven solution already. As you mentioned, already more than a decade in the market. And can you give us maybe a short glimpse about the reliability of the system? So how robust is it? What is the amount of numbers that it could handle, for example?
Yeah, so let's say when it comes to this kind of a solution offering, so it provides a seamless integration with your business processes on your ERP, or let's say recently companies using the S/4HANA ERP solution. So it provides this multiple industries language models. It definitely gives you the serial number handling, how you make sure you identify your appropriate asset, right? How you end up creating your asset in that sense to put the uniquely identification behind that asset. And apart from that, the kind of a global repository, it forms like your global product lifecycle identification repository, which helps you to do the real-time tracking. And you can make sure you can perform your status checks on where does your inventory sits. And it helps you to achieve high performance when we are talking about huge volumes of data. Yeah. And it is not just at let's say object level, or it also helps you to go beneath and you can track your data. You can look at your complete product life cycle from an event perspective, right? It helps you to manage and track the data not only at the objects level but also from events level, right? So it helps us in managing and doing all this together. So that's the kind of in a nutshell what the SAP Corporate Serialization solution does. Yeah,
it sounds quite awesome. Thank you, Ankit. So, Chris, hearing all of these features, especially some specific feature, I would think that would be of help regarding the use cases that we were speaking about. So, could you detail a little bit out which are the features that SAP Corporate Serialization provides that are very useful for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe let me start a little bit with another question I'm actually always receiving from customers, because what customers typically tell me is, well, I do serialize already my assets. They're all serialized in S4. I'm doing tracking. I'm doing this since 10, 15, 20 years, even more, all good. But when you ask them further questions like how integrated is it? How much set coding do you actually have, specifically as a customer, if you are in front of an S4 transition to actually come to a new architecture? These are the sorts of basically questions we are actually raising. And at the end, it turns out, yes, those customers are always doing it. They are serializing, they are tracking. It's all, I would say, custom built at the end. It may work until the, I would say, current point in time. But definitely, in order to reach the next evolution stage, to make that information available inside your company, but also across, to think of a more connected, basically, industry with your partners, with your suppliers. So it facilitates a complete new exchange. And in my view, one of the, I would say, key features that corporate serialization at the end is providing is, in fact, that really, really strong integration into S4. Because you can directly connect the system. In the material master, you would simply say, well, I would like to do some track and trace for that material. I would like to get those sorts of products serialized. And at the end, if you think that further, it's not just serialized and a number range is applied, which you are at the end potentially even printing today on your products, on your assets. But those sort of parameters or identification codes that you are currently generating, they are okay for you because they are known in your internal company. But at the end, you would need some sort of, I would say, serial number handling that goes beyond. Because all your assets, this is something which also your partner could adopt. Why is actually, and this is something I actually have seen, that customers at the end receiving assets from an asset provider company, they're actually relabeling the products during goods receipt because they cannot deal with the serial number format their partner is or their supplier is providing. So this is a real issue because every company is generating their own numbers in their own range, is doing some custom mapping in order to speak about the same product. But what if you have actually an asset with a standardized GRAI code, like corporate serialization could easily generate one. Every company could apply for getting a global company prefix to actually generate those numbers inside their own name range or business partner range. And at the end, if you apply some sort of multi-industry language models on top, corporate serialization is able to speak in telco industry, in automotive industry, in the defense area, in consumer products and retail, in pharma. So all sorts of identifiers have been introduced to the system. So even for companies who are doing, I would say, a bit cross-industry service delivering or asset delivering, this is of relevance because you don't need to invent any coding to actually come up with a new standardized format that also your partners and customers understand, which makes their life easier. So in a nutshell, for me, Christian, if you would ask me, 3 things: integration to S4, multi-language model, and the really, really strong, powerful serial number generation and handling.
Awesome. Thank you very much for those insights, especially from the customer perspective here. So we speak a lot about the integration topic, which is, to me, also a highlight about the solution, actually. So how would a full integration for you guys look like? So Chris, maybe starting with you.
Yeah, so for me, full integration actually looks like you have your, let's say, your warehouse operation, because typically you're receiving something, which means you can basically, during goods received, capture information with RFID tags, with scanners, capturing the codes of your returnable assets. Then most probably you would have some cleaning operation, some preparation, because in the nature you have returnable assets, they would go into your life cycle again, with, I would say, the buzzword of a circular economy. At the end, everybody who's in the business of returnable assets, for me, that's circular economy at its best, because you adopted such a business already even a decade ago or even longer, which means at the end you have some preparation operation, some controls that will be applicable for each of your assets. You need to prepare them, you need to clean them, sterilize it. So all sorts of operation where you need to capture the information in order to have some automated validation. You can only fill something which has been cleaned. You can only give something out to customers if you haven't exceeded the next testing date. So all sorts of, I would say, operations you can fully automate, because your warehouse workers or moreover your production workers, they could simply fill the next container, fill the next asset, prepare it. They don't need to worry whether the 10 steps before have been done, because your event system recorded that information and can instantly tell you sub-second whether the operation is okay. If not, there should be a beep beep saying to the production worker, please don't continue with the operation or have a more detailed look. So it's helping the users to understand much, much faster what is the issue, what is it all about, what do I need to do at an object level. And that is for me the key thing, how basically a tight integrated systems can give you that sort of in-process validation for all your operation in the background and just informing the right target audience when needed.
Thank you very much, Chris. So Ankit, hearing this, what would be your perfectly integrated world look like? What is your vision here you would like to share?
Yeah, so from my point of view, I think SAP Corporate Serialization really provides a wide range of user benefits, across the complete lifecycle information across business roles. So if I start with production managers, so they can really perform and make sure that the uniquely identified asset is serialized, and this information can be handled in corporate serialization. If I go into the role of quality managers, they can review and performs the quality checks and make sure that the if there is any attribute data incorrectly captured against the individual asset, then they can make sure to update that kind of information. If I go into the logistics persons, they can track the status of the individual asset and make sure that they know that at which exact location it is. They can monitor the forward and the reverse movement of their logistics process, and they can actually track the aging inventory when it comes to the asset tracking, because really in this case the aging inventory is also very crucial aspect to handle those kind of challenges. When it comes to the compliance officers, they can make sure that they can retrieve and validate the data to support from a compliance perspective on the trade requirements. Yeah. When it comes to the customer service, you can provide the information for the asset components or information needed for warranty claims, for example. And when it comes to maintenance for the technicians, they can make sure they can retrieve the data for the asset and make sure they can update from a service perspective. So for me, really, a solution like corporate serialization covers all these user benefits, and this is also from a complete life cycle tracking as well. I feel that the solution really is quite mature and provides all these benefits. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for your insights and share of information. So quickly to summarize, because we reached the end of our webinar here, what I heard today is robust, reliable. It is integration. It is interoperability, easier data exchange, easier data capturing, and in general means lowering all of the OPEX for your current, if you are doing track and trace right now or serialization, lowering that one, or even improve your serialization tasks. And I heard something interesting here as well regarding to the service levels or service operations that could be supported and enhanced with corporate serialization. But this will be part of our next webinar of our tech series, a tech chat series here. So make sure to follow us. Make sure to join our next series. We will have multiple series about different industries, about different challenges, and how we can tackle them and what are the benefits in tackling them, basically. So thank you very much for joining today, Chris. Thank you very much, Ankit, for your valuable input. And thank you guys for joining our series, watching this webinar, and looking forward to see you and meet you in the next webinar or on an event. So thank you very much. Have a great day and talk to you soon.
Yeah, thanks all.
Thank you. See you next time.